The thin line between tablets and laptops is fast blurring, and the RDP Thin Book is a result of just that. Priced at just Rs 10,000, it is competing against the cheap Chromebooks from companies like Zolo, which are sold at similar prices. But it has a few things that they don't. It runs Windows 10 and grabs a big 14.1-inch display. In contrast, the cheap Chromebooks run the internet-friendly Chrome OS and feature 11-inch displays. With RDP being a relatively fresh name, does the Thin Book really stand the test of everyday use? Or is it just a really cheap inferior laptop looking to grab your attention with its low price tag? In this video, we're gonna find out just that. The thin and light RDP Thin Book's display sports a resolution of 1366 by 768 pixels on its 14.1-inch estate. Inside it, you'll find a quad-core Intel Atom X5-Z8300 processor coupled with 2 GB of RAM, which is not expandable. And of course, with the Intel chipset, you get integrated Intel HD graphics. There's also a 10,000 mAh battery inside it, which sounds promising. The storage is limited to just 32 GB and there's a microSD card slot offering 128 GB of additional space. Which brings us to the ports on this laptop. On one side, we have a headphone or speaker jack, a microSD card slot and a USB 2 port. And on the other, there's a power input for the charger, a micro HDMI port and a USB 3 port. Now that's a pleasant surprise. The RDP Thin Book boasts of a thin and light profile, and this adds a lot to its overall appeal. Despite its big screen, it's pretty easy to carry around thanks to its 1.5 kg weight and 20 mm thickness. The plastic material on its body is quite smooth to the touch on the top, where it's also a bit wonky, but the bottom end has a much more grippy and sturdy surface. Due to its light weight, the Thin Book cannot be opened with one hand, plus it wobbles a great deal each time it's opened. Here is something interesting. The unit we received strangely had a plastic coating on the display which could not be removed because it was sealed. Due to this, we could never see the time or date on the desktop, plus there was some irremovable lettering on the other side as well. We tried contacting RDP 6 days ago to confirm whether this will be present on all models or is it just a one-off issue, but we haven't heard back from the company as yet. Moving on, you get a VGA webcam along with this laptop, apart from 2 microphones, which make for satisfactory video calling experiences. A great little perk is that the laptop offers a noticeably large trackpad. And the keyboard, although it has well-cushioned keys, is not helped by the unstable surface. RDP's Thin Book has dual speakers, which oddly enough deliver audio from the bottom rather than the top. A bit of an oddball is that the orientation of both the USB slots is downward rather than upward, but you shouldn't take time to get used to this. To give you a quick lowdown, the design of the RDP Thin Book looks great to the eye, but the many compromises quickly become visible when you start using it. You'll have to handle it with extreme care to make it last for a long time. Like we said before, the fact that a 14.1-inch display is available on a Rs 10,000 laptop itself is a big deal. And the 1366 by 768 pixel resolution on this LCD panel is satisfactory to say the least. It can't get as bright as you might want it to be in outdoor environments, but it's great for indoor use. As for viewing angles, they can best be called admirable. And in terms of sharpness too, it's nowhere near great. The speakers on the RDP Thin Book are really bad. They sound incredibly muffled and have a very low volume. Even at maximum volume, we were struggling to listen to the dialogues in movies. Connecting your headphones or external speakers to its audio jack is the only way you can satisfactorily watch videos or listen to music on it. Now, you have to understand that being an extremely cheap laptop, the RDP Thin Book is not capable of handling heavy games or applications. It's primarily built for those who just need a laptop for using the internet and watching movies on the go. For those two tasks, it delivers quite a pleasing performance. Browsing with multiple tabs open was never an issue. We even tried running Minecraft on this machine and were pleasantly surprised by how quick it was to start. The game ran smoothly all throughout without any hiccups. Typing on the keyboard as well as using the trackpad wasn't an issue, and the trackpad does support scrolling gestures. The RDP Thin Book comes pre-installed with a 32-bit home version of Windows 10, which is something that helps it gain a big advantage over the cheap Chromebooks since you're getting all the basic functionalities of the OS including Cortana support. There's even a DOS version of the laptop which can be bought at Rs 9,000. Coming to benchmarks, on SunSpider, it managed to grab a score of 939 ms, while its basemark score reached 73.35. Now these benchmarks can by no means be called impressive, but the Thin Book is anyway not trying to impress you with its power. As for copying speeds, they are decent, and the USB 3 port is great for those who own compatible hard disks or flash drives. And now for the battery life. The 10,000 mAh battery inside the Thin Book is claimed to offer 8.5 hours of usage by its makers. Our unit could never achieve that number, but we did manage to extract about 4.5 hours of heavy web browsing time from it with the screen brightness set to max. This is neither impressive nor that bad. The bottom line is, this laptop's low-end internals are nothing to worry about if you require it for basic tasks like web browsing, streaming movies, or using Microsoft Office. The main point of concern here is whether the RDP Thin Book should be preferred over the similarly priced Chromebooks. The answer will be a yes if you are a Windows fan, but do take note that the body and the overall construction of this laptop is very poor and it's not something that will last you long. And the customer service was unresponsive when we tried contacting it. But for being a well-performing Windows 10 notebook with a 14-inch display, we're giving it 3 out of 5 stars.